Hey guys, so it looks like we're sort of heading into a little bit of tricky terrain in terms of themes of power and control again. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about one way of dealing with this and what we can do as individuals, depending on where this power and control shows up in your life. So obviously we're looking at this theme on a global collective level, but you might also be feeling the ructions of this in your everyday relationships, and often this comes through in our most intimate relationships. And what the guides want me to share is that as light workers and empaths and healers and people on an awakened ascension path, we really need to be aware that many of us have come in with a purpose to help undo the old paradigm. And the way that we're undoing this old paradigm is through ourselves and through our own programming and our own patterning. And, it's microcosm to macrocosm, as within, so without, as above, so below. It's always a mirror. And so we can always find the answers within ourselves, and we can always tune into our feelings and our emotions as a powerful tool to navigate our way forward. First of all, they want me to say that there is huge power in saying no. And even if you're one of those people that is highly sensitive and, doesn't want to go out picketing and all of that stuff, there's power in just sitting in your own space, recognizing what you see in the world around you, and just handing it up to a higher power, handing it up to your higher self, and really feeling that energy of, I don't accept this in your body. So if you're witnessing anywhere in the world where there is a little bit of, or a lot of, a lack of integrity playing out, if you're one of the things that we do is we're here to witness where there has been a lack of integrity, a lack of authenticity. We're here to witness some of this corruption, to help take the blinkers off the population, to bring the truth to light. We're in the time of the revelations, as the Bible would have called it, and there's a great revealing going on. So sitting in your own space and just feeling that resolute, no, I don't accept this, that creates a ripple effect, and it does send out energy into the ethers as much as our love energy. Now, when we say no, the intention must always be with unconditional love, which is true power. Unconditional love is neutral. It isn't the same as light, fluffy, compassionate love. Unconditional love is a force. It can be an incredible force for good. And as I did in my previous video, you can send that white fire to anything that is not in integrity. But just holding that energy in your heart, I don't accept this, this is not for me, and really standing your ground internally will also help you stand your ground externally and getting into the practice of that every day. They're also wanting me to remind everyone, these are really simple key things, by the way, but they're also wanting me to remind everyone of the power of staying grounded. Being in your body, you're less likely to be manipulated if you can bring yourself into your body and bring your awareness somewhere down into your lower body and really anchor into your physical reality. You're less likely to be pushed around physically or emotionally or spiritually in that way. In terms of our energy fields, obviously there's a lot of energy flying around in the ethers. EMF, 5G, all of this stuff is part of the way that we can be manipulated through our emotions. It can weaken the energy field. I work with shungite. I've got an amazing shungite pyramid here. If you can get yourself some shungite, that's great. I also have a bracelet that I usually wear. But you can actually encode this through your consciousness. Call on the consciousness of shungite, and you can imagine that you're covering your whole house in it, and it will still have the same frequency. And as long as you really believe it, our beliefs hold power. It can help to neutralize some of the effects of stuff coming in, and that can be, mental, spiritual, emotional, frequency. Now, what I do in terms of if I feel like a client messaged me yesterday and said, is there some sort of blanket attack going on towards the light workers today? And and I was definitely feeling weirdness in the air. And sometimes we don't know the origin of where we're feeling the energy coming from. But what I do is I come into my heart, I connect with source energy and Mother Earth. And again, I just send unconditional love, and I see it as this pure diamond white fire, which I've written about in Archangel Alchemy Healing. And I direct that unconditional love to the source of wherever that energy came from. And I ask to clear any distortions, any negative energy, any untruths, any hoodwinking, any manipulation. But what we want to do is we want to reprogram. So a lot of this is AI consciousness. And AI isn't necessarily bad. AI can actually help. AI has helped people to walk again. AI has fixed hearts. You know, there's two sides to every coin, and we're transcending duality. So let's take our focus off what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. And if you just set the intention that you're aligning everything back to the highest, most beautiful divine truth and integrity, that is what we want to do. So we send that unconditional love. And in a way, what the guides have shown me is that we're teaching the AI to unconditionally love humanity, because AI doesn't usually have a, it hasn't been life, but everything does in this universe hold consciousness. We live in a living universe. So what consciousness as a divine human would you want to program into the AI? So if you're worried about things like EMF or 5G, or you want to offset, neutralize some of that in your home, your workplace, the space around you, because it's very strong energy, you can flip the narrative, and instead of feeling like you're under attack, tell yourself, I'm here to deprogram the system and reprogram it back to love. And just vibrate love right back to the source of it. Send it right to the heart of its consciousness and teach it. I keep being told, put the mother back into the system, put the divine feminine back into the system, into all the systems, whether you're in education, medicine, legal systems. I do a lot of systems work, and often I find myself in one of these systems where I'm witnessing, this doesn't quite wash with me. Send love back to the source of it. Ask to put the goddess back in there. Ask to bring it back into divine balance. Sacred union is not just for us as humans, it's in all the systems. We need harmony now, and we need these systems to work together. And Gabriel tells me that, the AI is going to play a fundamental part in incredible leaps forward in healing, in education, in our capabilities as a humanity. So Gabriel is saying, don't diss the AI. It's actually here to help. And if we flip our perspective, we can start to reprogram that. Don't buy into the whole Terminator movie thing. So just a few key points there. The other thing that they're talking to me about is the power of trust. Trust, 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 trust. It is so easy to get caught up in the fear cycle and the fear rhetoric. And actually, trust is our secret weapon. Joy is our secret weapon. Refusing to believe in doom and gloom is our secret weapon. Trust has got me through some tricky situations at times, because we're really working in uncharted territory here. We're working with the mystery. But the mystery is the goddess. The mystery is the void of all potential. And as I said in my Crossroads video, many of us feel like, oh God, I don't know my way forward. I'm in this crossroads and the door hasn't opened. And that's because we're being given back the steering wheel of our own reality, and we're being asked to choose. What do you want? How do you want to feel? What world do you want to live in? We're becoming master co-creators. Our divine higher selves are really integrating with our human selves now. And we're really, this is where we become really superhuman, and we reconnect with, realign with our original divine birthright, which is always to be powerful co-creators of the world we live in. Our thoughts create our reality. The words we speak create our reality. So what world do you want to live in? When you're seeing something really yuck playing out, either in your personal life in terms of people's bad behavior towards you, and I will say, light workers, grid workers, carriers of the flame, empaths, have really, been under it for a long, long time. Some of us have just felt like, whoa, we're carrying all, we're getting all this abuse chucked at us for telling the truth. But that actually has had a purpose, and the guides say that that has, in a way, been our training ground to show us that actually we have all the power and the keys and the codes and the tools within us to be able to restructure our reality. And it's forced us inwards. It's forced us to go within and do the work. And what we're going to start seeing now are great waves of people being forced to do the work, because a lot of them are being spat out of the system. I know myself, many years ago, I was editing a magazine called Prediction. Prediction collapsed and I was spat out. And the universe just went, rug out from under you, sink or swim, off you go. No money, very little money in the bank. Didn't really know what I was doing. I had started my healing business. So it was literally the universe going, it's time, you're full time in this. And I really struggled for a long time, but it was really the making of me. And so when we get spat out of the system, that's really, if you don't listen to the calling of your soul and take the steps, which I'd ignored for many years and gone, no, we need to save the magazine. I'd ignored it, and put all my energy into saving this other business that wasn't mine and wasn't, it was a great training ground, but I'd ignored the signs when the training was over and I needed to step up. So again, if you're getting the call to move, to shift, to leave a situation, leave a job, leave a country, leave your house, whatever it is, follow that call, be brave, take the steps you need to take. Listen to where you're being called to. And a good tool is, if you don't know your place on the planet, you could always consult an Astro cartographer to find out where that place is. But when you're left feeling all at sea without a paddle and you feel spat out of your old life, but you don't quite know where the new life is taking shape, or you can't see the wood for the trees and you're in a situation that feels dark, it feels scary, it feels disempowering. Some of you are having to stand up against certain institutions and industries, or stand your ground against bullies. And really this standing in your power, the power of saying no, grounding, and then absolute trust. I have this kind of phrase that I say to myself, and it's, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I am refusing to believe that it's going to be the worst case scenario, and I am trusting that the best case scenario is going to play out in my life. So that, and my friend Lorraine and I have a little key statement that came through in a channeling I once did, which was during the pandemic, which was trust, victory, and triumph. And it was TVT. And so that's our little mantra, when we really need things to go in our favor, we're like just almost chanting TVT, TVT, TVT. And then you can feel the hope opening in your heart. You can feel this power of, there is nothing outside of the divine. And when I trust the divine always works in my favor. And it also works in the favor of the collective. So trust that there's a bigger picture going on here. Okay, so that's the next bit. The other bit that they want me to talk about is, in terms of themes of power and control, is our own resistance. And to, first of all, have a think about where your own issues of power and control are playing out. Sometimes when we feel vulnerable, we can go on the defensive. And then sometimes that defensiveness then flips into being controlling ourselves. Okay, so it's all a mirror. We've got to think about our own shadow here and our own part in it. We're all part of a collective consciousness. We all have a responsibility. And, as I said in the other video on the crossroads, it's really shocking to wake up and see your part in where you may have enabled bad behavior, or where you've tolerated for too long certain things, where you've allowed yourself to be hoodwinked, where we've been skipping through the tulips going la-li-la-li-la, isn't it all lovely? It's like the Morlock on the Eloi in, I think it was the Time Machine, the little Eloi, like, it's idyllic, and then snatched by a Morlock. So these shocking revelations of, oh God, what have we been saying yes to? Where have we been putting our trust? And as I said in the last video, all this reversal energy, you know, the innocent, you know, the good people being made to feel guilty for what others are doing. And you're seeing a lot of conversations coming out on YouTube and in the news and the media about the narcissist empath thing. But the thing is, when we go into duality, we're buying into that programming. We're getting caught up in the us against them, you know, dark versus light, good versus bad, right versus wrong. And the key with any of this is to sit back in unconditional love and recognize that all of us have within us empathic qualities and all of us have narcissistic qualities. And there's a whole spectrum of that. There's a whole scale of that. But if you're dealing with a narcissist, the first thing I would say is if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, get yourself out of the situation pronto. Look after yourself. It's okay to, like I said, say no, stand your ground, recognize what's happening, be your own champion, get yourself to safety, okay? You're not going to fix that person. You're not going to be able to fix that person. All you can do is get yourself out of the traumatic situation and then work on healing yourself and recovering, okay, and getting your power back, because they absolutely, if they're running that program, they're in the business of disempowering. The other thing I would say is one of the ways that you can deal with it if you can't get out of the situation and you're finding that you're locking horns with someone in a power control scenario is to just take yourself out of the situation as much as you can and feel where the resistance is in your body. And I just want to do a little process here. This is just like working with our emotions. Many call it somatic work. I just call it feeling into my body. I just call it listening to my body as a channel. I never, you know, I've just always been guided by the divine and by spirit, and just turning within. Our sensitivity is really allowing us to feel more deeply where we hold these programs somewhere in our psyche, and usually we'll feel it within our physical, emotional, etheric body. So this energy of resistance, power, and control, this process that I'm being shown is, I just want you to close your eyes and just tune into your body and be aware of the shape of your physical body. And what the guides are saying is this is an invitation to let go of an old shadow aspect of ourselves, an old shadow aspect of our psyche that has been running the show for a really long time. And they're saying that everybody has this aspect within them, but the way that the frequency is on this planet, it's time for that to step out. So literally just in your imagination, I want you to just call up the part of you that has, whether this is from a past life, from childhood, whether you're doing it unwittingly in your daily life now, we're just going to invite that shadow aspect, which is basically abusing, misusing power and control, any part of you that's misusing power and control. And you're just going to see it like a shadow figure step out of your body. Just see it step out of your body. And you're going to invite it now to just travel all the way up. We're going to open a pillar of light between the core of Mother Earth in front of us, all the way up through the sun to source, to divine above us. And you're just going to say to this part, I don't need you anymore. I am here to live in unconditional love and harmony with all life. And just invite this shadow figure, which is an aspect of you on some level, whether you might know where it came from, you might not, and we're just going to give it permission to leave and go and be integrated in Source Divine. So send it up through the sun. And you might feel the resistance, a lot of resistance, a lot of old tension leaving the body. And some of you might even get a few other figures stepping out of you. I'm seeing a lot of past life sort of imagery. I'm seeing like a man in battle dress. I'm seeing a woman who looks like a very strict nun in a black habit stepping out of me, like these kind of, when we thought we were doing good, and actually maybe we were causing harm. And so sometimes we can cause harm. We can be well-meaning, but we can cause harm without knowing it. And sometimes that's through our own fear and our own pain and our own resistance. So just see how many of these figures leave your psyche, leave your body, leaving, and we're really intending that this is leaving our cellular memory, it's leaving our DNA, it's transmuting now. And see all those parts of your soul just going up through the sun into the divine light of source. See them almost gathering as a group, and then see them all just releasing that programming and transforming into one huge angelic being of light. See them all harmonizing. Acknowledge that ultimately they're all working towards the same goal, which is unity, love, consciousness. And they were all lessons that you needed to go through in order to lead you closer and closer and closer to that oneness. And you might see some of these figures reflected in your life now in terms of roles that other people are playing. Recognize that this is all part of your soul group. And so other people that are coming in to trigger you are also coming in to teach you. And when we remember that, we can take the lesson, take the blessing, say thank you. Now we're going to invite this angelic, huge white light angelic figure, which is the unity consciousness, the angelic consciousness of ourselves, to just journey back down through that pillar of light. See it standing in front of you. Allow it to turn around and face you. Recognize that it has a gift for you in terms of a beautiful fragment of your soul now, a higher consciousness, master soul aspect of you. The part of you the guides are saying that knows what to do. This is where you have lost solutions. You've gotten to the edge of the remit of what your human mind can grasp or understand, and it's like you've hit your head against a wall and gone, dunk, I'm out of solutions. And this part of you is coming back to you to remind you that through your heart is a doorway direct to the divine, and there is always a solution, and we just need to ask. So I'm seeing it as a beautiful white crystal. And I want you to imagine this fragment of your soul as a beautiful white crystal. You're just going to bring it into your heart. And as it comes into the heart, it turns into a huge white book. And the guides are calling this the book of all knowledge. The book of all knowledge exists within you. And this book sits over the heart and the throat. And really it's the book of gnosis or wisdom. I have the consciousness of Sophia coming in now. And beautiful Sophia is the consciousness of wisdom. And again, white light. I have her, I do mention her in the Archangel Fire deck, and she did come up in the reading in the video the other day. She's very present here. So just allow this fragment of your soul to melt into you. Soften. We're going into a time on this planet which my guides call the softening. Some know it as the quickening, the ascension. Ultimately, humanity is being forced back into our hearts. This is the softening. Just let yourself now soften into your body. Let go of all resistance. We're going to bring that pillar of light from in front of us now into the body to surround us. And just feel a downpouring of divine softness and peace. Feel this light coming into your heart, and just feel where you have held resistance in your words, in your heart, in your throat. Just feel this white light now washing away all tension or resistance. And they're giving me the word obstinate or stubbornness. Where are you being obstinate? Where are you being too stubborn? Where are you being too hard on yourself or others? And then you might see these like little rocks or stones or hard points within your energy field, or you might just feel these points of resistance. There's a lot around the heart and the throat and the jaw, actually, the tension in the jaw. Feel it washing away, washing out of the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit, the nervous system. And it's lovely because I'm seeing these little rocks turn into chocolates and just melt in the sun. And I've got Mother Cacao coming forward, helping us, the consciousness of the Cacao Spirit, coming forward to infuse the warmth back into our hearts, the comfort, the warmth, And she's saying, you know, just bring this warmth back into your home. Start in your home. The warmth of the hearth fire, the warmth of your heart fire. How can you bring more warmth back into your home, your family, your life? And the final part is just soften and be kind. Refuse to let the chaos that's playing out on the news come into your home. Refuse to let it come into your energy field. Refuse to let it disturb your peace. Allow yourself to enjoy the softening. 10:10 on my clock as we finish this process. I love it. It's always double numbers. And, you know, wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this video, time is not linear, time is holographic, time is infinite, and time is just now. So if you're seeing this video 3 years from now, I'm recording it in 2023, it will still be relevant for where you're at in your life now. Okay, we're entering the place of timelessness, and we can stretch and bend time to our will as well. And finally, again, I'm just seeing this doorway in the heart opening. They're saying honor your sadness, honor your emotions, honor your grief, but know that that has come from the past. Don't carry that forward into the future. Don't carry those sorrowful expectations into your bright future, because here on this earth plane, we are experiencing a shift from linear time to holographic time, and we can choose how we want to feel now. And that will guarantee the most beautiful future for all of us. How can you be more angelic in your daily life? How can you walk on the earth as though you are an angel? How can you forgive yourself and others? Allow yourself to be forgiven. How can you bring the balance back between giving and receiving? I've got an amazing smell of incense coming in. It smells like frankincense, and it reminds me of being in a church where they swing the incense holders. It's overpowering smell of incense. And I've got St. Francis of Assisi stepping forward, and he is carrying a baby lamb. And he's saying, be like the lambs, be joyful, be gentle. Your innocence is your best defense. It reminds me of the Course in Miracles and that phrase, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. Your innocence is your best defense. Be innocent, be joyful, be trusting. Be trusting. There's the secret weapon again. Trust, trust, trust. Trust in the softening. And all of the stuff that's playing out is just making the corruption and the lack of integrity more obvious to the masses. And everybody, if they're staying on the planet, is going through their own awakening in their own way. And we can't force them. We can't force them open. It's frustrating, I know. Some of us are in relationships with these people. You can't force them open. You can't force open their hearts. It's like trying to force open a rosebud. Forcing a rose to bloom will only destroy it. A rose will bloom in its own time. Trust, trust that all hearts will bloom eventually at the right time. And that they're showing me that even includes those that are misusing and abusing their power in a much bigger way. If we expect people to remain stuck in their patterns and programs, then that is where they shall remain. If we expect people to do good, be good, do right, and we project that light of trust into their hearts, think of the worst person on the planet that you can think of at the moment. Maybe someone who's acting like a bit of a tyrant, maybe a politician or someone that you don't trust. Project the light of truth and love into their heart. Trust that their higher self can get through to them. And let's ask that they act in integrity and in alignment with divine truth and divine right action. And even if that means we've seen people having to go to prison, even if that means that they're called out, they're called to account on their actions in a bigger way or through a legal system or something, just send the light of truth and say, I don't accept this behavior. And let's ask to reveal, let's ask for the great revealing to come about through the softness and the love in our hearts. Let's ask for our world to be restored. Blessed are the meek, they shall inherit the earth. So that's the video for today. Just one final thing. I'm not doing these videos daily, by the way. It's just as and when. So do keep an eye out. It's a good idea to subscribe to the channel if you want to get the updates. It has been daily recently. It's getting more often, but often I travel for work and things like that. So I'm really not great at doing this whole routine thing. I'm a Libra and I'm an air sign. I'm a free spirit. I am going to be getting back to my Instagram as well and starting to do the daily card readings again. I just fell off for a little while because I was traveling for 6 weeks in Thailand and Australia. So if you do want little card readings every day, do subscribe to my Instagram. It is at Alexandra Wenman. And yes, let's see who we've got coming up. Look at this. Here we go. Again, we have Gabriel. So here we go, the trumpet, and we've got Galgaliel, angel of power. Look at this, the colors, the gold and the yellow and the silver and the white coming through. So powerful. And, you know, I'm kind of getting this, you know, let your communication be powerful. Call on your power. When you need to say no, if you need to stand in your power, you have full permission to do so. And I see, like, holding up that shield, Galgaliel holding up that shield.